Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a solo backpacking overnighter at a backcountry lake location. As you can see, I've already got my tent and my sleeping arrangements already set up and ready to go for the night. So my backpack tucked in under here. I'll probably end up putting this inside just so no ticks crawl all over it, because I don't want to bring those inside the tent with me. And for now, I think what I'm going to do is get my cooking gear unpacked and set up right here and make up a quick coffee. Okay guys, I've got my hot cup of coffee on the go right now, sitting here relaxing, enjoying this nice cool breeze coming through the tent. I think tonight's going to be very enjoyable with that breeze coming underneath the tent fly, right inside of the tent fly. It's going to be really nice. So I'm going to relax for a little bit, enjoy my coffee, and then I'm probably going to start on lunch. Okay guys, I'm finished up with my coffee and I'm going to start on lunch right now, and pretty basic lunch. So what I have is one of these kind of plastic cups with macaroni and cheese inside of it. This one is Cheetos mac and cheese, cheesy jalapeno flavor. This should be really good. So I've already got my pot filled up with water. Again, I'm just going to get it on the canister stove, boil it up, and get this water ready and safe to drink and eat with. I am going to use my wind screen this time because it is getting quite windy out, and this will help the stove become a little bit more efficient in boiling the water while trying to battle that wind. That put on there like that and let it do its thing. Okay guys, we'll let that sit inside of the cup and heat up that pasta, get it cooked nicely, and then we'll add the cheese sauce, which is the jalapeno cheese, which is going to be really good. For supper tonight, I have something a little strange, and I've been craving it for a very long time. I brought a package of mashed potato, I brought bacon, green onion, and cheese, and that's all going to be made in this pot right here. One big old pot of creamy, cheesy potatoes with bacon and cheese, which is going to be really, really good. So I'm looking forward to that. Something a little strange, but really quick, really fast and simple. And I'm looking forward to that later on tonight. So I'm going to let that pasta rehydrate and relax for a few more minutes. That'll probably take about 5 minutes to cook up. And then I'm basically just going to chill out here, eat my lunch, and then I'll probably turn inside of the tent for a little bit and zip this door shut, keep the bugs out. And maybe even take an afternoon nap, because the lake is looking really nice from right here, and with that breeze coming in, it is definitely relaxing. So I might actually just lay on top of my sleeping bag and on top of my sleeping pad, zip the door shut, and just take a little bit of a nap. We'll see. Okay guys, I'm all finished up with lunch, and I gotta say that macaroni, as small as it was, a little tiny container, that was actually really good. So I am gonna go inside of the tent now because the afternoon sun is still quite high, and I kind of want it to dip down so I can do a little bit more filming out by the lake and enjoy that a little bit, because right now it's too bright out there, and I am getting a little bit warm. I do have to do a tick check. I don't want to get Lyme disease, so I'm gonna check myself over. But I am going to crawl inside of the tent, zip the door shut, probably take about an hour, maybe 2 hour nap, and just kind of relax and enjoy this day with the nice breeze coming through the trees. And then once the sun kind of repositions, I'm going to get out and cook supper, probably down by the lake. I'm looking forward to that. So, and I hope we do get a sunset. Like I was saying earlier, if I get a sunset, I'll be really happy. So I'm going to crawl inside, get my shoes off, zip the door shut, and take a little afternoon nap. Okay guys, I'm all finished up with my afternoon nap, and I gotta say that was awesome. I feel much better. It's actually starting to cool off now, and the sun is making its way over behind the trees, so hopefully that'll dip down soon. And just come down to this fire pit area. I'm gonna start making my dinner, and I've decided that I'm not going to do a fire tonight. I'm not gonna need it, and with the wind coming blowing all over the place, a lot of the ground in this area is dry, and the last thing I want to do is be chasing embers blowing from the fire, making sure they're all put out. So I'm going to hold off on the fire, at least for now. Unless it does get really cold and the wind dies down, then I might do it, but I'm leaning towards no fire. So what I've got going on right now is I got my pot canister stove. I've got a container that I brought with me full of vegetables, bacon, and cheese. And then I've got my mashed potatoes and a bunch of other cooking items. I'm going to start cooking dinner right now. So I do need water boiled up, so I'm going to get this on the stove again and boil up some water. I'm going to put the stove down in the fire pit, so that'll work as a wind block, and hopefully that'll kind of maximize the efficiency of the stove. And then hopefully this dinner will come together very quickly because I am starving. All right, guys, supper time is done, and I've got to say I am totally stuffed from eating all that potato, bacon, spinach, green onion, cheese. That was awesome. So I've definitely got my daily, or probably 2 days worth of sodium in that. That was a lot of food, and like I said, I'm stuffed, definitely stuffed. So I got a little bit more water in the pot that I boiled up. I'm gonna dump this in here and give this dish a quick rinse out. While I'm doing this, I should probably explain that I always, or pretty much always, bring a large Tupperware container with me whenever I go backpacking. And this is how I take my fresh food. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I get asked it all the time. How do you bring fresh food without it going bad? This is how. Now, the height of the container will vary depending on trip of what I'm bringing. But this is basically what I do. So if I'm bringing meat, I'll freeze it solid and I'll double bag it and I'll put it down in the bottom, and then I'll put my fresh vegetables on top. And it being in a container, it's not going to get crushed. So if I do bring ramen noodles, and let's say I brought a bagel or some bread and I don't want that getting crushed, put that inside of the container, and sure, it's a blocky form in the backpack, but you could cram one of these full of stuff. And basically it's just a capsule of protection inside of your backpack. So it doesn't really take up any more space than it normally would. It just adds a protective layer. So that is what I like to do. And like I said, I'm just going to rinse this out. And then when I pack up tomorrow, instead of putting food inside of it, because that food is now gone, what I can do is put various pieces of gear inside of this to then take up that space, so it's not just an empty container sitting in my backpack carrying air. And that works really well. So I'm just going to rinse this out really quick, get it wiped up. I do have a pack of ramen with me, and that's kind of my buffer meal. I like to bring my meals planned, and then I bring a buffer meal as an extra meal, just in case I get hungry in the middle of the night or the afternoon, or something goes wrong or whatever. So I'll be able to cook my ramen noodles in this later on. I could do it in the pot, but I'll probably just toss the noodles in here, boil up the water, toss it in there, pop the lid on, and then set it down and let it cook itself. I do have a little bit of green onion left over, so I'll probably add that to the ramen. And then I'll use my pot for breakfast tomorrow. But I'm stuffed, guys. I'm really stuffed. I'm getting soaked too. All the water's dripping all over me. So I think what I'm going to do is relax a little bit and wait for sunset. I do have a drink to enjoy that sunset with, so I'm really excited about that. And hopefully we'll have a nice quiet sunset with some beautiful colors out there. I'll be able to sit on the rock and watch that. And yeah, first I need to get cleaned up, get everything squared away, get organized, and then we'll wait on sunset. Okay guys, it's been quite a while and it is now getting dark out, or just before dark I should say, and the wind has actually died down completely, so there's no breeze. I now feel safe about having a fire, so I've gone off in the woods and I got lucky. I collected this piece of dead hardwood. The bark is peeling off of it pretty easy, so it's definitely going to be a good piece of wood. I'm going to cut this up and I'm going to baton some of it down to size, get it in the fire pit, and this whole tree will be my firewood for this evening. Just something to give that little campfire vibe and a little bit of warmth. So let's get this cut up, split up, and then have a fire. Okay guys, I've got my fire lay ready to go. I've got my wood shavings in there. I've got my small twigs, my branches, kind of my 1s, 2s, and 3s type situation here. And for today, I actually brought fire starters for testing because like I said, I wasn't sure if I was going to have a fire or not. But I do have to test these fire starters because I'm actually going to be using them elsewhere on the channel. There's a very specific purpose for these. So I brought along 2. They're just basically fiber sticks. And I don't know if it's like wax or some kind of oil resin or whatnot, but they're just fire sticks that I got from my local dollar store. Very common fire starter that you find on the market. And I'm just going to try and see if these will work well, is kind of my test. So I did bring a fire steel with me and matches. I'm going to try my fire steel to see if those will actually take right off by themselves. I'm only going to use 1 stick, and if I have to use the second one, then I'll use the second one. I use these similar item to these in little tiny bricks, and where these are the long sticks and they're different brand, like I said, I just want to make sure that they actually work because they will be implemented elsewhere on the channel. So let's see if this will actually take a spark right up here on the rock. I've got my fire steel. We'll use the striker instead of the knife because I don't want to hit the rock. So let's see if this takes a spark. I think it will. Oh yeah, perfect. Alright, so that went really well. We'll set that on top. We'll save the other stick for later or possibly even tomorrow if I choose to have a fire. And let's get these on top so they'll actually burn. And we'll see how these fire starters work. Like I said, I'm sure they'll work just fine, but I just have to confirm that they do work fine so I can use them elsewhere in different videos. So we'll get this fire going, and like I said, it's just an aesthetics fire. It's not for warmth, it's not for cooking. It's just simply just to say I had a fire and enjoy the crackling campfire and in front of the lake and, you know, that camp feel. So that's all it's for. Just a nice little crackling fire for maybe an hour or so, and then basically relax and then head into the tent when it's dark. Okay guys, so I guess this marks the beginning of the warm season. Summer is on its way. We're now into mid-spring and it's getting warmer. Today I did pick 2 wood ticks off of my pants before I crawled into the tent for a nap. So for me, officially, that marks the beginning of the warm season. And a couple of mosquitoes buzzing around today, but hopefully the season goes well. Typically, regular viewers know that I hate summertime. I don't like the hot, the humid, the bugs. I don't really care for it. I'm more of a cold weather type person. There's less people in the woods. There's no bugs. It's more comfortable for me, so it is a challenge for me to get through the summer, as kind of backwards. Most people have a struggle getting through the winter. Winter for me is no problem. It's the summer that I dread. So, but I'm going to be a trooper, and I'm going to tough it out, and I have a few interesting things planned for this warm season that'll help me get through it a little bit easier. And I hope everyone has an enjoyable summer and stay safe out there. So cheers guys. Here's the beginning to the warm season. Okay guys, it is now nightfall and the fire has gone out. The spring peepers and the frogs and everything are still loud as can be. Just listen for a second. That's going to be my bedtime music. So it is now time to crawl into the tent, get the door zipped shut, and enjoy a little bit of camp comfort, listening to the beautiful sounds of the lake. This is going to be awesome tonight. Fingers crossed for some rain. I really hope we get dumped on. So I'm going to be crawling inside of the tent, closing the door, and that's it for tonight. So peace out, guys. I will see you first thing in the morning for coffee. Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful, crisp, and cool morning today. The lake was lit up with sunshine going across and the fog and the mist rolling across the water. Birds chirping out there. Beautiful, beautiful morning. Up in the sky right now, it is still blue sky, but it looks like it might actually cloud over, and it looks like it could possibly rain today, so not sure. No rain last night, although the outside of the tent is quite wet from dew kind of setting in this area. So I was super comfortable inside of here. I was extremely warm all night, and I had a really great time. There were a couple loons that came out on this lake, and you could hear them echoing across the lake probably about midnight last night. And that, regular viewers, you guys know that is something that I love hearing when I'm out lake camping. Those loons just calling to each other, echoing across the lake. Absolutely awesome. So, I do have my coffee. I'm already finished with my breakfast, which was oatmeal. And I'm just going to finish up this little cup of coffee. And I think I'm going to start packing some of my sleeping gear away. And then, hopefully, this tent will kind of dry off. And I'll be able to get it back inside of the stuff sack and slowly start picking away at packing up. Okay guys, everything is packed away inside of the backpack, and I have to say that pack up was extremely quick and very, very easy. The main items were just the tent, sleeping bag, sleeping pad, those all jammed in there, and then the other small things, cup, stove, all the tiny things here and there. So everything went together really well. I had an excellent time yesterday, last night, and this morning right here with this beautiful lake. This campfire was actually really nice last night, having that set here and listening to the nightfall sounds of the lake, which was really awesome. So I'm happy with this trip. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, drop it down in the comment section and I'll be sure to get back to you. But for now, I want to get the pack on and get out of here. So peace out, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.